we're going to make sure that everything works properly, and then I can actually start talking to you guys and doing all that stuff. Okay, perfect. Hold on. Wait. Oh my god. I hope it's as clear as I'm seeing in the viewfinder, but if not, I probably will delete this live and then turn it to an actual video. So, hi everyone. I feel so much better. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders after I did that other video that basically tells you why I don't do intros, and that's basically a time where like I'm being very vulnerable with you guys, and so now that I released that, I feel like I can do anything. And today we're going to start with this cut crease right here. So gorgeous and beautiful. And the thing with cut creases, by the way, shout out to all my Redditors, this one's for you. I've always thought for my eye shape, I couldn't really do a cut crease in general because of the fact that I felt like it just wouldn't fit my eye shape, or I would have a big difficult time doing it. But like, look at this. Gosh, like that is so sharp, and I finally just basically gave it a try, and it was an amazing experience. And to be honest, gosh, I can't stop looking at this eye. Like, whew. I'm gonna basically let you guys see an in-depth look of what my eye basically looks like up close, with all the details, all the skin texture and everything, just to give you guys a rundown. And then we're gonna go in with the tools, and then we're gonna go in with the palettes I used, and then we're gonna get started. So if you guys like this video, please give me a nice little follow or subscribe or like and share. These are my other social media platforms if you guys want to take a look at them. This is them right here, and I'm just gonna and I'm just gonna leave it there for you guys to see. So alright, so this is my eye right now. I hope you guys can see it fairly clearly on the screen. I basically took a couple of different palettes, and I'll go over which ones. I do have to let you know that you don't need all of these palettes. I just wanted particular colors. But this right here is kind of like a brown autumn look. Wow. I felt like since fall is coming around the corner, I would do something kind of warm based for my face. And I just have, skin wise, I just have some BB cream on, I have some concealer, I have some blush, and then I just snatched my nose with some highlighter. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with this particular eye. We are going to show you, or I'm going to show you, I mean, like, if you want to include Michael in the background, he's playing right now, so it's a we, I guess. So these are the 3 palettes that I used to create this look, and I also used a particular eyeliner, which I really love, actually. So these are the 3 I have. The first one is the Huda Beauty Nude Palette, and I'll tell you why I say that you really don't need 3 palettes to complete this look. So this is the Soft Glam palette from Anastasia. This is actually one of my favorite palettes. I love like all the shadows and shimmers. I am not really a face person, but because of the fact that I have sensitive skin, I break out really easily if the face product irritates my skin. And so it's hard for me to like find stuff. But that's for a different story, for a different video. This is the 3rd palette I have. This is the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded. And the reason why you don't need this many freaking palettes, you don't need to be like me to have these many palettes, is because of the fact that all of these colors here that you see on the eye, you can generally find in this palette right here, the Soft Glam palette from Anastasia. And what I used, oh, I also have this one. This is the one I did for my cut crease, so I'll show you that too. So this one is the, again, Soft Glam, and these are the 3 colors you would probably would typically be using, but I wanted a lighter brown because this one right here was a little bit too dark from what I wanted, so that's why I used the other ones. But you generally only need this shade right here, this shade right here, and these shades right here. And that's because of the fact that they just kind of go really well together. I mean, like if you put a palette together and the color schemes are supposed to go well together. So, but the reason why I use the other ones is because of the fact that like they had particular colors that I liked for this look, and we'll go over that once I do the tutorial. This one right here is the Huda Beauty Matte Metal Melted Shadows in I think it was Bamboo Hoops. What was it? Yeah, Fox Fur, which is one side was like bamboo hoops and then one side was a shimmer. I did use both on my eye, one being in the inner corner and one being the top part. So I'll show you how to use that as well. And here are the tools that I used for this whole entire look.
What does that mean? Scale to versus?
This looks really a lot, but I can guarantee you it's. There are some brushes that are more important than others, meaning this one right here. This is like the medium sweeper. I used a blending brush here. This one's from Morphe. This is the M505, and you'll definitely need a bullet crease brush. This is the M506, so it looks like this. And you'll definitely need these two other brushes as well.
Okay. So like.
Or three brushes, I would say. Okay, so these are the other three brushes.
Right.
These are more for like detail work, and I typically really love this one for my under eye area, the bottom lid, whatever you call that, the waterline. And I like this for more detail work, and I like this for stamping. And we'll go over what you're going to be using in terms of stamping for your eye. So, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let's do that. I'm gonna set these all aside on my little table here so it's easily reachable. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. For those of you who have the Urban Decay eye primer, that one works really well, but I find that this catches color better, and I like how it shows up, like the color shows up better. So I've been using this quite a lot lately, and I'm really, really picky with my products because of the fact that I have sensitive skin and dry skin. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna lift this up so you can kind of get it close. Ooh, that's too high. I'm sorry. We're gonna go right here, and then I'm gonna zoom in, and I'm gonna let you see my entire eye area. So this is what it looks like here. And then this is what it looks like without anything on. And now we're going to add just a small hair primer on the top of the lid, and also a little bit at the bottom.
Okay.
So it looks like that right here. And the reason why I'm putting it at the top and the bottom is because I want my eyeshadow to show up. I feel like the hardest thing about eyeshadows, especially down here, is that it tends to just, like, you put it on and it just disappears. So primer really helps showing that color, and then it also helps with oily lids, and I typically also have oily lids. If you use concealer or foundation as a primer, you will get creasing, and that's typically not what I would want to look for in my eyeshadow looks. Okay, so I'm just dabbing it ever so gently around the eye area, and I'm just going to wait just a couple of seconds before I apply the eyeshadow, so that way it doesn't skip. So what happens during skipping is that one part of the eye might have more pigment, that it seems that it would look a lot darker than the rest of the shadow. So I'm just seeing if it dries, and I think it's already set and ready to go. So now we're gonna go in with first the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette that I showed you guys earlier. And the reason why I took this palette because I wanted one particular shade, and it's actually this one right here. It's Bucked. It's kind of like a coolish, like in the middle of being cool and warm tone brown. Then we're going to take the blending brush. We're going to take the Morphe M505. It's very soft. I really like how it hugs my eye shape really well. I feel like the hard part about brushes and finding something that fits you is that you have to find something that fits the size of your eye, because if you get something that's too big, you will end up getting it with kind of like a messier finish. So we want something here, and we want something that, one, fits your eye, and then two,
which position do you think
Well, you just want something that fits your eye. So I lost my two. So something that fits your eye. Okay. So we're gonna dip into the palette here. Just gathering a little bit on the brush. Tap out the excess, and then we're gonna go sweep back and forth on the eye. And don't worry if you don't get something clean like this off the bat. You can clean it up later. That's where the detailed work comes in. So here we're going to go up and in and out. Whoa. Okay, and I'm just going to buff it out. Sometimes, like I used like the mirror as I use that mirror as my actual mirror instead of the camera. So now I'm like adjusting to the fact that I'm looking at the monitor, and I'm looking at the camera as my mirror. So pardon me going back and forth, but essentially what you're doing is making sure that you get this nice little flick at the end. And again, don't worry if it's like not cohesive. You will go back in with some detailed brushes and do some detailing work to make this part more prominent. But all you're really doing right now is tracing the shape out. And and basically it's creating that nice little like cut look, like this wing almost. You're creating that on this side. Here. So I'm just detailing, blending that in, and then I'm gonna use an actual mirror just to make sure I'm on track too. So just gonna use this one. I don't typically. Okay, that looks
I gotta take a dump,
really nice.
If you guys want to play, just hit me up if you guys want to play.
That's good. And now do you see this area right here? It's not super filled in. If you want to, you can totally use this brush for that detail work. But I typically like using a smaller brush. I'll just demonstrate with this one for right now, and I'll show you the detail work again a little bit later. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do light-handed, guys. Light-handed is the key. Make sure you use a light hand, because if you're going to go in with like a hammer hand, you are going to get something that's called a really black eye. So don't do that. We're going to use that really light hand and then bring it all the way in towards the center of the eye, and now you have that. Okay, perfect. So now that you have this, we're going to go in with the second color, and we're going to switch brushes now. So from the M505, this guy right here, you're going to switch to a smaller bullet crease brush that looks like this right here. This is what it looks like. You see how big of a difference those make? Okay, so this is the bullet crease brush, and the main purpose of the bullet crease brush is again to give you more detail, but we're getting, as we get down towards like the lid area here, we're going smaller and smaller and smaller with the brushes, okay? Because we want more color to actually show up on the eyes. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch palettes. So we're gonna go in with the Soft Glam Anastasia palette, and we're going to go ahead and use the color Sienna, which is this guy right here. It's more of like a burnt red, so let's give you a little closer look here. The sun is starting to come out. I naturally only film in natural lighting, because I want you guys to see everything for what it is and not really have it photoshopped, which is why I like to do lives in general. But I know a lot of people don't have time to watch the whole thing, so I do videos on the side as like a balance. I'm a Libra. I gotta balance things out. So okay, we're gonna go into Sienna. Boop, boop, boop. You're taking just a hair. The Anastasia palettes are always very pigmented with their eyeshadows, but I feel like it's a really great beginner's palette for those of you who are just getting into makeup, just because it has that blendability that you would be looking for, and also has that pigment that you'd be looking for. So now, here's the thing with what you want to do. You want to actually find your eye bone. That's like the layman's term for that area. But the reason why you're going to find your eye bone is because for me, my crease is definitely near my eye. It's not directly on my eye bone like a like other people's hooded eye. My hooded eye is not the same as other people's hooded eye. So you're going to find your your eye bone area, and then once you find that, you're going to flip your brush around and then stick it in that particular area and go back and forth and back and forth. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of that, and then you can see right here is where my eye bone is. Can you guys see that? Oh my god, let me sure you are in focus. Okay, well, right there. And then I'm just gonna go back and forth until I see that color start to build up. Take your time with it. You don't have to get too crazy. And again, if you feel like it is getting messy, like right here it got a little bit messy, don't worry about it. It's okay, you'll be fine. We will go back and fix it. Okay? So we go here, and I'm gonna take a step back and I'm going to look, and you're going to notice that I've placed the second color on, and because of the brush I used, I did not hit this particular area, which is good. You're on the right track. So if you end up hitting there, again, don't worry about it. You're gonna cut it out and you're gonna clean it, and it's gonna look sharp like this. So just follow along. You'll be okay. We're gonna do this together. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now, oh my god, my palette. Some of my shadows broke. Okay, now I'm gonna take a look, and I see like this area right here. There's not enough shadow, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna dip it in with the same brush, and then we're gonna detail that part out. So I took only a little bit of color, like the tiniest tap, and then we're gonna go in. Okay, and I'm just looking at my monitor to make sure I'm in focus. And then light pressure, guys. Okay, right here. There. And then now we have a line. See that? Beautiful. Okay. And I know we went over like the original shade. It's okay. We will fix it. We'll make it look exactly like this, or at least try to, because at the end of the day, my eyes are sisters and they're not twins. Okay. Practice makes perfect, okay? So now we finished with this color. You see that you have a rounded, kind of sharpened look. As you decrease in size with brushes, again, you will get more color payoff and more precision. So now we're gonna go in and actually cut the crease a little bit. What if you just said cut the cheese? Okay, so, excuse me. Okay, now we're gonna go in with the Huda Beauty shadow, liquid shadow. I don't know my terms. Okay, it's the liquid shadow, and you can use foundation. You can absolutely use concealer, but at the end of the day, no matter what you use, if it's liquid, I would recommend setting it with a powder, and I'll show you what I end up setting this particular guy with, because this ended up being a little bit too dark for me, so I lightened it up with a lighter colored eyeshadow powder. Okay, so I'm gonna take this particular item, and I am going to go ahead and take this guy, which is the medium sweeper. Any kind of brush that is flat tipped would work, but this will help you apply the shadow a little bit better in terms of it'll give you more precision, and it'll cut it into the area that you want. So I'm going to add a little bit on the brush, and when you're cutting the crease, you are stamping. You're not swiping yet until you get the right shape down, because the reason why is that if you go in like this, like already, you're not going to get that clean line that you're looking for, especially if you have lids that are similar to mine, where they have more skin on them, so it's very easy to create a line where it's not as clean. Okay, so we're going to take the product here. So this is the dope applicator. And I'm not going to go in with the dope applicator because again, I want more precision. So I'm going to take some and I'm going to put it on the brush. So just a small hair. A little of this goes a long way. So you don't have to worry about putting a lot on the brush. Okay. So now we finished with that. Finished putting some on the brush, so now the product is on the brush. And then we're gonna go in and zoom really quickly and make sure, I'm gonna move this to make sure the sun doesn't do its thing and hit where I don't want it to hit. Oop, I'm so sorry. Okay, so, now we're gonna actually look at where the crease is and we're gonna cut it right above it. So when you actually look at yourself, it doesn't disappear, okay, in your crease. So, okay, so now we're gonna let it focus, and then we're going to flip the brush over, and then we're gonna put it. Whoop. Okay.
I hope you guys don't mind me watching this.
Just do a little at a time, stamping.
Well, you know what? I'll watch this off stream.
Okay.
This video.
And
Watch it off stream. I do want to purchase.
okay, you see how that hides? That means you have to go a little bit higher.
So
It's a little too high, but it's okay. Okay, I'm gonna go down. That's where you kind of want it to be. And keep looking. Take your time with it, okay? Because you're gonna have to stop and go and stop and go. Because if you just, again, go full out, you might mess up to the point where you can't correct it. So, there. I'm gonna use my mirror now, and then I'm just gonna turn to the side so you guys can still see.
we're gonna buy this guy.
And then I'm just gonna use my fingertips to just blend in the areas at the bottom before this eyeshadow from Huda sets. Okay, and I'm gonna look.
I don't know how to play this champion.
Okay, so this is what I have so far. I'm gonna go in with more product and then I'm going to cut this part out so it gives it a nice line. And then, so I'm gonna grab some more. Okay.
Randy.
And then we're gonna put just a hair on the brush.
Neck.
Here we go. We are at 22 minutes, but it's very detailed, so it's okay. All right, so here I'm gonna look, and then I'm going to basically trace it out like eyeliner towards this end. So when I imagine like my eyeliner flick,
So I probably use my E.
I want to probably cut this part out, so it gives it that nice smooth, almost like wave. So just kind of follow and trace the line.
Use my Q.
Okay, and then let's get
No.
a little.
EWQ is probably what it is.
Can you guys see? Let's do. I don't want it to go out of focus because this is important. So that's what I have, and that's what I'm going to stick with.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to bring it down, and then back up, and then just cleaning up the area like so.
Let's do that.
Okay,
Yeah, let's put it in.
here we go. So this is what it looks like so far. And I am going to just use my finger and blend it out.
Top or mid? Oh no.
Okay, there you go. So that's your baseline. I know it's not perfect, but we're gonna get there. So we created that line, and then this part is very sharp. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take the excess of the product and just kind of erase that a little bit.
No, I'll just stay in.
Can you guys see? Perfect. There.
Yeah, this looks like it's gonna be fun.
Just taking it in ever so slightly. There we go. And then next, I'm going to go back in with sienna, the red color that we just put down. This one right here. Right here.
Play some mahjong today, guys.
And then we're going to take the pencil brush that we had earlier.
We got a mahjong club like we do. And
which looks like this. It's very teeny weeny and small, but it's very useful, surprisingly. I thought I wasn't going to use this when I got it, but it's been really handy with cut creases. So this is the Morphe M515. And with that, we're going to go ahead and dip into the color here. And then, let's see. I'm gonna try turning up my ISO a little bit. I want to see if the color would show up more or less. The ISO is basically a button on my camera where I can kind of mimic or play with the natural lighting a little bit more, so I can bring more light into the lens. But it's not necessarily anything to do with like the actual lighting itself. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it the way it is. So we're going to go ahead and take the pencil brush here, and I am going to basically darken the color in this particular area here a little more, and then create a better wing on the outside, so that way the color essentially doesn't disappear. So here, let me just, I think if I don't want to mess with my focus right now. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and there. I don't want my camera to freak out. I think I put it on the wrong focus settings. So, can you guys see that? Okay, let me just turn this way. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. So I'm just developing the line. You can see where I put the color down right here. And
yeah, this game has been really fun. It's only been
I am just looking. I'm looking at my mirror right now.
4th day stream and the 7th day. Maybe why did I tell this?
And then towards the center, again, use a light hand. I am going to go ahead and cut this particular area back. This also helps with blending out your cut crease right here. So if you saw earlier, as I was like drawing the line, you saw like little staggering marks, and this basically, when you go back, it basically delete those ends, and then it creates a nice, really straight or like clear cut line. Gosh, this freaking lighting! Oh my god, I'm like in front of like the blinds, and so the sun is coming out. So anyway, right here, so it's a lot cleaner than it would be right here. You see that? So we're going to move you guys back. I think if I just, whatever, too much adjusting. Okay, so now we're gonna go back and redo this line.
Wow, that's a long cooldown. 14 seconds.
Okay.
Cooldown is 8 seconds. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is just what player left? Oh man, that sucks.
Okay. And you see now that like you get more prominent color. So
I can tell
here
I'm still spending money on this game, and that's not a good thing.
we're going to connect it, because right here I don't have enough shadow in this particular area. So here,
Or want to donate, then bam, I'm definitely gonna,
okay.
buy some skins.
And I know that looks crazy, but we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna blend it out. Gosh, this sun is driving me insane. Okay. Oh, it's hot in here. Okay, so, alright, now we're gonna go and I'm gonna take the blending brush, and I'm just gonna gently go over it just so I can blend it out and make sure there's no harsh lines going on, because you can kind of see different areas, like right here, and then like right here there's like a bit of unevenness going on. So I just take that bullet crease brush and I lightly go over
85 degrees up here.
and I lightly go over it and just start blending it in.
Okay.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Percentage up. I'm 11 and 17 right now.
Okay,
It says 39.
so it looks a little bit better, and now I'm going to go and fix this top area here. And you can do these in different orders, but I'm teaching you this way, so that way, like, you kind of know what to do if you end up in these scenarios. So, whoop, excuse me, I dropped my brush. So, you know,
you drop a brush or you drop something and you grab it with your toes. That's exactly what I'm doing right now.
So, okay, now we're going to go ahead and deepen that color. So I am going to take a different brush. I'm going to take this particular brush. This is the Morphe M562 right here. And the reason why I'm using this is because of the fact that it doesn't have that many bristles, but it's still also feathery and flimsy. It gives me that blend that I'm looking for, but also gives me that pigment. So it doesn't erase not necessarily erase, it doesn't like blend out the pigment to make it too sheer. It gives you that buildability of color. So I'm gonna go in with the palette. Woo! Okay, so we're gonna go in with the shade Bucked, and I'm just dabbing it onto the brush. Okay, and then tapping off the excess, and then now I'm gonna go in with and get closer to you guys. Okay, and then I'm gonna let you see. So this is what it looks like right now, and I'm just going to focus on developing the tail, and then I'm going to focus on developing this particular area. And because of the fact that it's small, it gives me precision so it doesn't overlap the color I just placed here. Okay, so we're doing that. Okay, and I'm just going to grab some more color. So this is what it looks like right now. You see how it's more cohesive? Everything is kind of pulling together a little bit more. Okay, and take more color, and then I'm going to focus it on the inner corner, so then everything just connects really, really smoothly like how this side does. So here, I'm going to tilt my head a little bit so you guys can see, and I hope that it doesn't go out of focus. Okay, and we're just going right above the line from where the darker color is. Okay, gentle sweeping back and forth. And then we're gonna look. And then I'm just gonna clean it up with my fingers. It's fine. It's okay. Okay, so now we have that. Okay, that's done. And then if I want to do more detailed work, I'll do it later. But I'm going to go ahead and move on from this particular step. So next we are going to, this is kind of done. I forgot to set it earlier, but it's okay. It kind of dried down to be matte, but we're still going to add some more color on top of it, just so it's kind of essentially budget proof. And this is where the Huda Beauty nude palette came in, because I was pretty much looking for a like white base so I can brighten up the color a little bit more. But if you don't have this particular color and you don't have if you don't have this palette, all you're really looking for is a shade that kind of is basically more like white based. This is literally the color base in the palette. This is located also in the Soft Glam palette too, so this one right here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna take my finger and I'm just gonna take some from the palette itself, and I am going to go ahead, let's move you guys here. Perfect. So we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna tap. I feel like this also helps if there are like little gaps in the cream shadow, like if there was skipping. So it definitely helps kind of make a person's eye. Oh my god, these freaking blinds. It's like it kind of helps you see it a little bit better and gives it more, again, of a clean look. So it doesn't get blurred out when you complete like the eyeliner and the mascara and like the lashes. So here we're gonna go and take a look, and you see how this area that it was from this particular color, this also helps clean up those areas. So I'm just going to here, and then occasionally, like if I want to get closer to this particular line, I take a brush. That's when I take a brush. So I'm gonna go in with the medium sweeper once more. Oh man, I need to like move you guys. Sorry, kind of do some shipping and handling. Oh my god. Let me just, bear with me. We're going on a roller coaster. Excuse me. Woo. See, this is what happens on live streams. Like, things like this have to happen because not every second of the day is the same, especially when it comes to lighting. So we're gonna move, or maybe I should just close the blinds. Let's go over here. Can we do that? Is that too dark? Yes, it is too dark. We're gonna move you back, and I am going to. You can stare at Michael for like 2 seconds. I'm gonna close the blinds a little more because the sun is too strong in this one. Man, it's hot in here. My legs. Okay, my thighs are sweaty. Let me just. Okay, adjusting. Come on. Oh, okay, I'm back. Okay, it's better. It's better than having to fight two blinds versus like this one right here. Whatever, it's fine. It's okay. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and again go back and fix this area. So, Huda palette, white color. Put it on the brush. Pack it on the brush. Take off excess. Go back in. And then just.
Yeah, I did a meditation this morning.
Here you go. Just cut it. Make it brighter. Bring it down. Bring it up.
I love spreading the positivity here because
Y'all beautiful for doing this. Thanks for following along. I love you. If you like the content, please subscribe. I hope to see you on my other platforms as well. Okay. Okay, so look at that. Super clean right now. Love that. There you go. Okay, so once you finish with this, okay, once you're done, what you want to do now is go ahead and do the eyeliner portion of it. I know this is a little bit low. I know this is a little bit higher. I will fix it later as I need to. Well, actually, yeah. So now we're going to do the eyeliner part. And I basically, so for my eyes, when it comes to eyeliner, I need something that's super, super thin. Because if I just do a hair, like the slightest stroke that is off my lid, it looks like it just looked like it fucked up. Okay, I just messed up. And it just looks like I got like a really huge, how do you say it? I just got a huge like black or like brown bump on the top of my eyelid and it just doesn't look nice. So what I do is I go in with this particular liner. For those of you who have for those of you who have eye shape that is similar to mine, I highly recommend using this particular liner. This is from 3CE. It's a Korean cosmetic brand, and I really love almost all their products. So this is in the color cinnamon. It's like a reddish brown color, and this is the tip of it. It's super, super thin. Super, super thin. Look at that. I like that because I like the fact that it's thin because of the fact that I can build up color a lot easier. I would rather have more precision than have something big and then having to take away. It's easier to put things on than to take them off. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the liner part, and I'll teach you guys what I do for that. I also use the powder from the Anastasia palette, and I'll show you this again. I'm just explaining it so then you kind of get the gist of what I'm about to do. I'm going to use a powder to basically fill in the gaps of the areas that this missed. Okay, so don't worry if you mess up. It's okay to mess up. We're all gonna be okay. It's just practice makes perfect. We'll be fine. So here, okay, So here we're going to basically focus. My eye already kind of makes this like triangular. If I lift my eye a little bit, I can kind of see or imagine like a triangular part. And if you guys want to like see like a in-depth map, I do have a picture of it, of a map I created on Instagram on how to do eyeliner. I always do the triangle first and then I do the rest later. So I'm going to
True to who I am, but
go ahead and add some color in.
so that being said,
So there. So now it's showing up. I'm just flicking it in one direction until I get a little bit of color, and I'm going to look and to see if it is going in the right direction. So I want it to follow my water line, and this is basically where I want it to be. So here we're going to go
my goal is to help
there.
100,000
Okay.
people every single day become more positive and love themselves. So it's
There.
a lot of people.
So this is, oh, that's nice. Okay, that's where I want it to be. So that's, here's like a close-up. Here's what it looks like. I'm lifting up my brows so you can see what is kind of like the shape, like a really, really rough draft shape. It's like a triangular shape that I'm going for. But typically if I just kind of let them droop down like normal, you'll kind of see what they look like. But I always do this just to see where I'm at. So now we're going to go ahead and reach and try to fill in these particular areas. Sorry, I'm like switching directions because I want you guys to see. I don't want the camera again to go out of focus. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to go ahead and don't worry about the line, the extension of the line just yet. Again, I'll teach you a way to get a really nice, like, clean cut flick with the powder that we'll be using. So this is just to create depth in the eyeliner, because if you just use powder by itself, it won't give you that nice pigmented look that you're looking for, unless it's probably like a cream shadow, which is not what I'm using. So, okay, so we did that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go in this area, and the reason why I'm not focusing on this area because I mess up more on this particular area. I would rather connect the two and just kind of like squeeze into the little spaces as I go. So
believe that when you do that
here,
type of stuff, like,
come on, focus. Okay, there. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the inner corner. Now create that nice line that I'm looking for.
Excuse me, sir.
And ever so slightly, just dab.
Oh, wow, this cooled down to 7 seconds.
Dab, 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 dab. And there we go.
W.
So now I have this as a base.
Sir.
Let's see if I want to add any more. And then you see how this, like, it kind of goes into this U shape. So I want that to kind of show up right here. So I am going to add more into this section. So I'm going to tilt my head down.
Yeah, that's my guy. Ooh, jeez.
Ooh, it's hot in here, man.
I'm gonna get my
2 monitors on? It's hot. It's hot as balls. And for those of you who are new to streaming, you can actually talk to me in the chats as well. So feel free to like say something or ask me any questions that you may have on this as well. Okay. Okay, so perfect. I got what I wanted out of the pencil. Like this is where I would stop, and then next I will go in with itchy nose. Excuse me.
Who is that character?
Okay. Let me just
Why are you so low?
turn my ISO up. There we go. That's better. So this is what it looks like right now, and you can see some areas that have been basically has that like skipping that I talk about, where there's particular areas where it's not perfectly straight, and that's where the powder comes in. You're going to use the powder, and you're going to take a brush to stamp on the color. So I'll show you what that looks like. And let me cap this. Okay. So now we're going to take a angled brush. Any angled brush would essentially work, but you want one that has a slight flimsiness but firmness to it. I know that sounds crazy,
It's got a nice
but
range
it
on
looks like this is the one I use. This is the Sigma Line Perfector E68. So this is what it looks like.
So I gotta
And then you can see that it's like
better.
not super soft. It doesn't go like this like super fast, but it's very soft. It's manageable, and then you can kind of look at the tip of it and how it's very thin. This and by itself, if I were to use this with just eyeliner, it'd be too thick for me, but it's perfect for stamping. So that's why I still include it in my eyeshadow or my eyeshadow brush kit. I'll probably do like a video on that later on my favorite brushes. Let's see. We are going to go ahead and take the darkest color. Oh my god, that's what was happening. I got eyeshadow. Oh no. Look at it, guys. This is, oh, I dropped it. Oh my god, I have to change my clothes. This thing fell apart. I love her palettes, but I don't know what happened. I didn't drop it, but it just fell apart. It's okay. It's fine. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take Cypress Umber, which is this one right here. And the reason why I chose this color for the particular eye look in general is because it's very close to Cinnamon, which is what I put the eyeliner on. Because if I were to choose a different color, like let's say for example, I would choose like this color, Bucked, from what we originally started with, a lighter one, it's going to completely change the color of your eyeliner. So you don't want that. If you want something that stays the same or stays similar, stick with a shadow that is similar to the color of the eyeliner. So we're gonna go ahead. Such a mess. It's okay. We're gonna go ahead and go into Cypress Umber, and I'm just going to tap. I'll show you. I'm just going to tap the end, and I'm just gonna wiggle it a little bit around on the shadow. I'm gonna tap off the excess, and then I'm going to go in with my brush, and then I will stamp the edges of where the eyeshadow is. So we're gonna go ahead and look, and then you see that right there. So I'll show you what it looks like when you stamp it. Okay, let me make sure it's in focus. You see that? It filled in the gaps. Okay, and then I just flick it to the other way, so I can create that nice wing.
Oh, okay. 12 of 38.
Like
So
that.
I want to
Ta-da!
hit
Cute!
that. Okay.
Cute little baby wing. So I do that.
Okay.
Come on. Okay. So this is what I'm doing.
What?
Okay. And then I'm gonna grab some more, and then I'm gonna do the rest of the eye. So I'm gonna grab the same color from the end of the brush, take out the excess. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I can't stop staring at my seat. Like if I were to show you what my seat looks like I got a whole bunch of like shit all on my dress and like that. I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. That's crazy. Anyway, moving back up. Here we are. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take the rest and just pop it in these areas and just be
There we
really
go.
gentle about it.
There we go, Mike. You're a beast.
Okay, here we go. And if some of you are wondering, okay, well, can gels work with this? Gels can absolutely work with this particular look. I just feel like sometimes with gel, I can skip really easily. But it's preference at the end of the day. You could totally use gel if you don't like pencil liners, and then you just do the same thing. You just stamp it back, stamp the color back on. So here, going to make sure it's in focus.
There we go. Gotta get that CS a little higher.
Okay,
Sand.
and then Also, if you do end up grabbing a little bit, it's better because then you'll get less fallout on your eyes. Because again, her stuff, Anastasia's stuff, is very pigmented. So, and another benefit about doing this with powder is the fact that as you kind of get to the top, it gets really nice and blended out. So it creates that clean line, but it's not like harsh. It's like almost like a smoky line, almost. Okay, so here we're gonna go in the inner corner, and then we're gonna continue the stamping. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. And then now you can see it's more rounded, it's more cohesive than when we started a little bit earlier. I know that some people are probably like, they look the same. It's the subtle differences that make the entire eyeshadow look. Subtle things. So, and also, I'm a perfectionist. Sometimes it's unhealthy, but I like making sure my work is nice, clean, and clear. And then I hope that this also has helped you guys. I know we're on like an hour now of talking about this particular look, but I want to make sure that everybody is successful with their cut crease, you know? So, okay, let's see where we're at. Okay, so now this is still U'd out. I kind of want to make it a little bit more like a wing, like how this one is. So I'm just going to take the powder once more, tap off the excess, and I'm going to fill in the gaps. You can see that? Like if I lift my eyebrow, and then you can kind of see this like dip, and I don't really want that. So,
He's got a lot more CS.
Here.
Damn, he's tripled my CS.
oh, come on, focus for me. Focus. Okay, so now you can see what I did. Okay. And I'm just making sure everything's connected together. Okay. We'll take a look there. So I like that. That's where I want to be, and it is perfect. So we're gonna stop with the eyeliner. And then now I'm gonna go in and go ahead and finish up the bottom line, and then maybe like fix this particular area, and then put on some lashes, and then call it a day. So next, we're going to go in with the color that we started with, which is from the Naked Reloaded palette, and we're going to use the Bucked. And we're going to take a pencil brush. I love pencil brushes for the under eye, just because I feel like it helps blend it out really nicely, and I do love how like a tapered brush really angles my eye well. So it does it, whereas like a blending brush would just make a big fat like circle. So I'm taking the Sigma Pencil E30. This is what it looks like. And we're gonna go in with Bucked, just a little. And then we're gonna go ahead, and I'm just gonna look down so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. And I already have like this little water, like this like invisible line going through, so that's what I'm basically following. So towards the inner corners, I'm putting a lot less. So here, I do that. Can you guys see? Okay, and I'm just filling in
Think you could take me?
the gaps.
You could take me, then take me, Brett.
And then we're gonna step back and look. And looks good so far. I'm gonna build some more color. Oh my god, I got it in my eye. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna build some more color. And again, I'm just following this little guy right here. That you see this ledge. I'm just following it. Okay. And look back. Do I look good? And then I can see in the monitor, this right here isn't super complete. So I'm just gonna go in and look at the monitor. Now and fill it in ever so slightly. And that's what it looks like so far. So I'm gonna stop there, and then we're gonna go in with the darker shade in for what we did with the eyeliner. So we're gonna take Cypress Umber from the Anastasia palette, and we're going to go ahead and take this brush. Is like so good. I love this brush. I love this brush. It is like, it's from Morphe, and this is the R439. If you have trouble building up color under these small spaces like this gets it in the perfect place. And it's not just like a line, or like a liner where you just stick it on and then like you can't really blend it out. This, because of its dome shape like that and its thickness, it helps blend out so nicely, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Marvelous discovery. It's great. So we're gonna take it and we're gonna dab the top part of the brush into Cypress Umber. I'm gonna tap out the excess. This is what it looks like with the color on. And then we're going to go ahead and whoop, I'm gonna just slightly put my finger and then bring it down, bring my lid down, look at you guys. And then I'm going to trace it alongside my waterline. So here, you just, come on, don't go out of focus for me. Come on, come on. Sorry.
Sheesh.
Okay, so there's that.
Could get that. This.
Here we go. I'm only putting it on the almost outer third of my eye. I'm not really going to put it in the inner corners because I feel like when I put darker shades like that too close to the inner corner, it kind of, instead of opening and awakening my eyes, which is what I like, it kind of closes it off a little bit. So here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just bringing in more color.
Acting is fun.
And I'm just sweeping it, blending it out, and I'm going to look to see. Okay. Okay, this part actually might need a little more. It's fine. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so it is very pigmented.
And I was like, they forfeited because they didn't want the smoke on 7.
Okay, so now that part is essentially done. I'm going to see, I feel like there's a little bit of a harsh line, but you can go ahead and go back and then add the first color that we did so they all blend in together. So that's what I'm gonna do. I am going to go in with the pencil brush once more and then just blend the two together. Nothing super crazy, right? So here, what's that? Yeah, do this face, and then we're going to just blend it together
Everyone on your team honored a teammate. That's so
ever so slightly. Okay, so now that is done, I'm going to add inner corner. There. Let's do, and then I'll do, let's see if I want to, I'll bring this down. Actually, I'll fix it later, but you guys, it's fine. It's not like a big deal to me. I'm just going to complete with lashes, and if I'll want to fix it later, I'll fix it later. So I'm going to take the other side of fox fur, and I'm just going to put it on my finger, and I'm going to add it to my inner corner, and then I'm going to put on some, I'm going to curl my lashes, put on some lashes, and then we'll be done. So I'm going to put it right here. Here. Come on. There you go. Okay. So grateful for everybody who actually watches this to the end. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. So now you got some bling bling. Oh my god, I love that. So nice. Okay, now you got some bling bling on the inner corners.
I'm gonna try and drop that to less than 2
we're going to go ahead and put some lashes on. So these have been my absolute favorite lashes. For those of you who have hooded eyes that are similar to mine, I love, if I had the chance to get more of Tina Young's lashes, her company Petite Cosmetics, those, oh my god, it's fabulous. I love how soft the band is. It doesn't poke the inner corner of my eye. Even if I were to put it kind of slightly wrong, it doesn't impact me as much as other eyelashes would. So I would highly suggest like looking at her stuff. I want to get more. So I'll show you the lash I'll be using today. On her website, it's called Wild. This is what it looks like. And everything that I get in terms of just makeup, just disclaimer purposes, I use my own money for it. I don't necessarily like sponsorships until I know I really like the brand itself and like how it feels on my face and whatnot. So we're gonna Wild. It's marvelous. It is what is on this eye. So the band is thin enough and comfortable enough to where when I blink, it also it doesn't come off. Like it's flimsy enough to just move along with the skin of my lids.
And so hopefully I can not hit 7, do better.
Okay.
By going up against on
So I put a little bit of the House of Lashes glue, which is my favorite glue, from them, and I'm just letting it get tacky. This is kind of what the back looks like. Let me get you guys. There's my glue. There you go. And then I'm going to take a tweezer, small tweezer, and I'm just going to clip it in the middle of the lash so I kind of know where the middle is. And then I'm going to do a really big close-up of my eye. Oh, actually, yeah, before I forget, I just do a small curl. I don't add mascara on my lashes with like heavier lashes like this because it just doesn't make sense. I have thin lashes anyway, so I don't really need to do that unless the lashes are sparser. So here we're going to add it right onto the eye, and I'm just going to fit it without really having to press it in place. And if I like with the placement of it, I'm just going to add it right on. Yeah, I'll probably fix this later. This is bothering me now, but I'll fix it later. You guys don't have to watch that. We did a lot of like detail work, and I feel like you guys could definitely do it yourself. But later I'll be taking the sienna, and then I'll just going to make a nicer flake, so it comes a little bit lower like how this part does. Okay, but here we go. Alright, so our look is completed. It is so gorgeous, so beautiful, and definitely one of my top favorites. I think I have an obsession with cut creases now that I could do them. But I hope you guys like this video. I hope it is helpful. I know it's an hour long, but those of you, again, who have watched it to the very end, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Toodaloo! Bye! Oi, I need my mouse.